Hello students, today we start chapter Force and Law of Motion from class 9th. Now first topic is what is force. So force is an external agent or cause capable of changing the state of rest or motion of a particular body once applied on it. Now I will give a simple example. Suppose this is an object, and if you are not applying any force on this object, it is at rest. After applying a force, then it will change its speed or it will move. So without any force, without any force in a particular direction, object will not move. In the same way, suppose there is another example. If a car moving on the straight road with uniform speed means constant speed. When a driver changes its speed, like increasing the speed, accelerate the speed or decreasing the speed, so it will change the motion of the car. First, car is moving with this constant speed, but after driver increase the speed, it will change its speed, decrease the speed, it again change its speed. So in whole process, force is used. You are applying a force for moving the object if it is at rest, or change its speed if it is in motion with uniform speed. So force is used. Understand? Now in earlier classes, we have seen that force is push or pull, but it is not. Force is not a push and it is not a pull. Push and pull are the effects of the force. See, if you are pushing this object, then it will move. If you are pulling that object, then again it will move. So pushing, pulling, lifting, stretching a spring and pressing an object which changes its size, these are all is the effect of the force. Now third thing is that force is a vector quantity. Now question, what is vector? Vector is both magnitude and direction. When you are applying any force on an object, suppose this is an object, you will say that you are applying 10 Newton force in right direction. So in this case, you are giving the magnitude 10 Newton, and right direction means you are giving some direction. If you are moving that object in left, then you will press you will giving the force in that direction, in the left direction. So these are the direction you will mention with the magnitude. So it is called vector quantity. So force is a vector quantity. Now SI unit of the force is Newton. Newton is a scientist. So force unit is also called Newton. Now what are the different types of forces? First is balanced force, second is unbalanced force. If the resultant force of an object, all the resultant force of an object is 0, then it is balanced. And if it is not 0, then it is unbalanced. Like 10 Newton force you are applying in right direction on this object, 10 Newton force you are also applying in the left direction on this object. So both are adding, but how you will add? See here, here you will use vector addition because it is a vector quantity. Now how you will add? 10 Newton in the right direction plus in the left direction you will put minus with the magnitude. You will contain minus. If this direction, this is the right direction, then it is positive direction. If this is the direction, then it is the negative direction. So 10 Newton right, so it is plus, 10 Newton left, then it is minus. So 10 minus 10, 0 Newton. So it is balanced force. Okay. Now unbalanced, if you are applying 5 Newton force in left and 10 Newton force in right, so then 10 minus 5, it is 5 Newton. So it is unbalanced force because this time it is not 0. So it is unbalanced force. So these are the types of forces. Now our next topic is Newton's first law of motion. So according to this law, a body at rest will remain at rest, a body in motion will continue in motion in a straight line with a uniform speed unless it is compelled by an external unbalanced force to change its state of rest or of uniform motion. Suppose you want to change a speed of an object which it is at rest or moving with uniform speed, then you need force. So if you are not applying a force, body is at rest or moving with uniform speed. Like I have given an example of a car which is moving on a straight road with a constant speed, uniform speed. So if you when you are applying a force, then it will move. So for that purpose, Newton gave a law which called first law of motion. There are three types of law in physics. One is Newton's law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, Newton's third law of motion. In the first law, a body at rest or moving with uniform speed unless you are not applying a force. In the simple definition, you will say that body at rest or motion with uniform speed unless you are not applying a force on that body. ठीक. Now suppose this is an object, it is at rest because you are not applying any force. After applying a force 10 Newton and the condition is there is unbalanced force, because if you are applying a balanced force, then resultant of the balanced force is 0 Newton, so it will not move. So you will need unbalanced force, then the body will move. So 10 Newton force, unbalanced force you are applying on the object, then body will change its motion. So it fulfills the Newton's first law of motion. So you will again learn the definition, a body at rest, and because definition is very important for the examination. So a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will continue in motion. If body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion with uniform speed continue in motion in a straight line with a uniform speed. Uniform speed means constant speed. Speed will not change unless it is compelled. Compelled means you are applying. Compelled by an external unbalanced force to change its state of rest or of uniform motion. Then it is called Newton's first law of motion. Now next topic is inertia. So if we applied a force of an object, body will move. But if there is tendency to resist the change of the motion, so the tendency of a body due to which it resists means उसको रोकना. किसी ऑब्जेक्ट के अगर कोई ऑब्जेक्ट अपनी स्पीड में चेंज कर रहा है या स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट से चेंज हो रहा है, तो उसको रोकना. रेजिस्ट मीन्स उसको रोकना कि वो चेंज ना करे अपनी स्पीड को. सो द टेंडेंसी ऑफ ए बॉडी ड्यू टू विच इट रेजिस्ट अ चेंज इन इट्स स्टेट ऑफ रेस्ट और ऑफ यूनिफॉर्म मोशन मीन्स इफ एन ऑब्जेक्ट इज एट रेस्ट और अब वो मोशन करने लगे और उसे कोई रोकना चाहे, ठीक है, तो वो टेंडेंसी जो होगी वो इनर्शिया होगी. जैसे सपोज यू आर स्टैंडिंग इन ए बस एंड बस इज एट रेस्ट. So your lower part, your feet is at rest, but sudden driver changes its speed and bus is moving, then your lower part with the bus is also moving, but your upper part is still at rest. So आपको क्या लगेगा, एक जर्क लगेगा पीछे की तरफ. जब रुकी हुई बस अचानक से चलने लग जाती है, मूव करने लग जाती है, तो जो लेग्स जो होते हैं आपके, जो फिट होते हैं, वो तो रेस्ट पे रहते हैं, क्योंकि आपकी मतलब जब रेस्ट पे थी बस तो रेस्ट पे रहेंगे, होल बॉडी रेस्ट पे रहेगी. पर जैसे ही मूविंग करने लग जाएगी बस, तो आपके जो लेग्स हैं वो भी उसके साथ मूव करने लग जाएंगे, बस के साथ वो भी मोशन में आ जाएंगे. बट आपका जो अपर पार्ट है वो तो अभी रेस्ट में ही था पहले वाली कंडीशन में, तो उस पर क्या लगेगा, पीछे की तरफ जर्क लगेगा. ऐसे ही होता है ना, जब बस एकदम रेस्ट पे रहती है तो हम भी रेस्ट पे रहते हैं, जैसे बस एकदम चलने लग जाती है तो हमारा जो अपर पार्ट है उसको पीछे की तरफ एक जर्क लगता है, एक धक्का लगता है. ठीक है, तो व्हाट इज द क्या इसका मीन प्रोसीजर है, ये क्यों हो रहा है, ये इनर्शिया के कारण होता है. लाइक bus is in moving, your feet is also moving with the bus. Sudden driver applies a brake, so jerk आपके आगे की तरफ लगता है. जैसे अप्लाई करता है ब्रेक ड्राइवर, तो आपको आगे की तरफ धक्का लगता है, because your feet is in motion with the bus, but your upper part also motion with the bus. But sudden driver applies a brake, your feet also at rest because bus is at rest, but your upper party is still in motion, upper body is still in motion, so that's why it will feels a jerk in forward side. So this is the process of the inertia. So you have seen in this figure the process of the inertia. So greater the inertia of a body, greater will be the force required to bring a change in its state of rest or of uniform motion. Mass is a quantitative measure of the inertia of a body. If the mass of an object is heavier, so you will require more inertia. Like in this figure, if you are pushing an elephant, so you need more inertia, more force. So mass is the quantitative measure. If in the next example, if there is a lighter object, then it will easily move with the small force. So greater the inertia of a body means greater the mass of the body, greater will be the force required. So here inertia is equivalent with the mass. If you will need, if you will require greater inertia, higher inertia, then greater will be force required for changing the state of the rest or uniform motion. So heavier the body, more will be its inertia. If the body is heavier, mass of the body is heavier, then inertia will be also large. And mass is not heavy, mass is light, then inertia will be low. Now next topic is momentum. Here we have already seen that if mass is heavier, then force is large. For अगर आपको किसी हैवी ऑब्जेक्ट को पुश करना है तो आपको ज्यादा फोर्स रिक्वायर्ड होगा. सो हियर F proportional to m is mass, and if velocity is, if an object moving with uniform velocity, so if velocity is large, velocity is increasing, so force is also increasing. So F proportional to V. So both is required for the inertia. So what is momentum? F proportional to m, F proportional to V. This is the proportional sign. So if it is increasing, mass is increasing, then force is increasing. If mass is decreasing, force is decreasing. If velocity is increasing, then force is increasing. If velocity is decreasing, force is also decreasing. So 1 and 2 is the two equation, and combining these two equation, F proportional to m multiplied by V. Now question, why you are applying multiplication sign into these two quantity? You will also apply m plus V, but why you are not using this m minus V? Why you are using m into V here? See, if here mass is 0, force is 0, so suppose we are applying here mass is 0 plus V, but here force is not 0, so it will not fulfill this condition. Same way, if there is mass is 0, again here force is not 0, but here if there is, अगर मैं यहां पर आपको F प्रोपोर्शनल टू m इंटू वी में m को 0 में कर देता हूं, तो 0 मल्टीप्लाइड बाय v क्या हो जाएगा? 0 हो जाएगा। तो यहां पे फोर्स क्या होगा? 0 हो गया। यानी कि अगर किसी ऑब्जेक्ट का मास ही नहीं है तो मैं उस पर फोर्स लगा के क्या करूंगा? तो अगर मैं यहां प्लस लेता माइनस लेता तो फिर वो कंडीशन सेटिस्फाइड नहीं होती। इसीलिए मुझे यहाँ पे मल्टीप्लीकेशन साइन का यूज करना पड़ेगा, ताकि अगर मैं यहाँ 0 भी करता हूं पुट तो फोर्स क्या हो? 0 हो जाए। ठीक है, क्योंकि ऑब्जेक्ट का जब मास ही नहीं है और आप उस पर फोर्स लगा रहे हो तो ये कहां से कंडीशन फुलफिल हुई? इसीलिए दैट्स व्हाई वी नीड मल्टीप्लीकेशन साइन हियर। सो F प्रोपोर्शनल टू m, F प्रोपोर्शनल टू v, कंबाइनिंग दीज टू इक्वेशन, F प्रोपोर्शनल टू m into v or mv, and here mv is called momentum. M multiplied by v is called momentum, and you will represent momentum by p. So p equal to mv, p is momentum, so F proportional to p. So force proportional to momentum. If momentum is increasing, force is also increasing. If momentum is decreasing, force is also decreasing. Now in previous derivation we have seen momentum. Now what is the definition of momentum? So momentum is defined of a body as the product of its mass and velocity. So momentum P is equals to product of mass and velocity m into v. It is also a vector quantity, means it contains both magnitude and direction. SI unit. Now how you will calculate the SI unit of momentum? See, unit of mass is kg, kilogram, and unit of velocity is meter per second. When you multiplied kg multiplied by meter per second, so kg into meter per second is the SI unit of the momentum. Now first numerical of this topic, momentum. What is the momentum of a man of mass 75 kg? So mass of the man is 75 kg. When he walks with a uniform velocity, and uniform velocity is 2 meter per second. So P equal to m into v. P equal to m 75, velocity 2 meter per second, 75 multiplied by 2, 150 kg meter per second. Answer. Question number 2. An object's momentum is 80 kg meter per second and its mass is 16,000 gram. Find the velocity of the object. So as you know, momentum is 80 kg meter per second. Unit is kg meter per second. Mass is also given 16,000 gram. It is in gram. So you will change this gram into kilogram. So you will divide by 1000, because 1 kg equal to 1000 gram. So if you change gram into kilogram, then you will divide by 1000. So 16,000 gram equal to 16,000 upon 1000. So 0 0 0 cancel, then you will have 16 kilogram. Now how you will calculate velocity? P equal to m into v. P is given 80, m is 16. Velocity you will calculate. Velocity is 80 upon 16. So 18 divided by 16 is 5. So 5 meter per second answer. Very simple. You will use only this formula P equal to mv and you will change this gram into kilogram. Then you will easily solve this question. Question number 3 you will try. Calculate the momentum of following. An elephant of mass 2000 kg moving at 5 meter per second. And second question, a bullet of mass 0.02 kg moving at 400 meter per second. You will pause the video and solve this question by yourself. Then you will check that you understood the concept or not. I will give you some time. Yes. So here mass is 2000 kg, velocity is 5 meter per second. Now you will calculate the momentum P equal to m into v. So m equals to 2000, v equals to 5, 2000 into 5. Direct you will use this formula, 2000 into 5, 10,000 kilogram meter per second answer. Now second question, mass is 0.02 kg, velocity is 400 meter per second. Apply the formula m into v. M is 0.02 multiplied, velocity is 400. You will remove this point, then you will get 20 here. 0 will cancel out. Now you will get 2 multiplied by 4. 4 into 2, 8 kg meter per second answer. So such type of numericals you have solved easily by the use of this formula. Now next topic we will discuss in further classes. Till then you have seen whole video. If you have any problem, then you will again watch the video and ask any query. So that's all for today's class. Next time we will take new examples, new numericals, new topic. Thank you so much.